Hello and welcome to Menace the Monk. We are talking about the Liverpool versus Cardiff game. But before we get started, please make sure you hit that like button. You subscribe to Menace the Monk if you're new here. That's one free of cost way to support us. We are a Desi channel and the algorithm helps us. The more number of subscribers we have, the more number of likes we have. But let's dig straight into the game and let's talk about the starting lineup first. I think that a lot of people, including me, we were expecting either Thiago or Harvey Elliott to start the game, but Klopp went ahead with a different system. I mean, Henderson started, of course. Harvey Elliott, I think it was because he was back from such a serious injury, and he could not be thrown straight away. But I think the front three pretty much picked itself. We were obviously not expecting Luis Diaz to start the game straight off the bat. Now talking about the first half, it was completely flat. I think that this is something that we have been seeing as Liverpool fans just after the international break, where the team comes back and we look a bit disjointed. But again, I don't want to get into that too much of criticism, because even with that we were pretty much in control. We dominated. Obviously we were not at our flowing best. The second half was a completely different story, of course. Jota with another header, and it's really amazing how he does it. And with he's not the tallest. He's not the most bulky, but he regularly gets into those positions where from where he just heads on, and it's absolutely brilliant to see Jota do that game after game. The second goal. Now let's talk about the second goal, which was absolutely brilliant from Luis Diaz. And I think there's a bit of a comparison here, and it might be a little too early, but the way he just runs in the box and just takes defenders on, that mazy run, that just reminded me of a certain Luis Suarez, with whom Luis Diaz shares his name. Again, we have to look at Luis Diaz against Premier League opposition, and there is time to go, but that looked really good. That was really impressive from Luis Diaz. The third goal, what a comeback for Harvey. The way he just receives the ball, he turns and then just hits. That finish was absolutely exquisite, and it's great to see. Minamino, of course, talking about the Luis Diaz moment, Minamino got on the score sheet as well. And I wanted to talk about Minamino a little bit, and myself included. I think that he might move on in the summer. I think he most probably will, because he's too good to be playing these roles. I mean, if you look at Minamino, he has cost us 8 million, and he's not considered as anybody in the league, but or even amongst our fans, he's not considered as a real option. But he's in this season, he's scored more goals than a lot of big names. Again, don't want to get into a comparison, but the reality is that he's a lot better than a lot of people think he is. So but I think in the summer he will want to move on for the sake of regular game time, because of obviously he's a Japan international and the World Cup year is here too. So I think he will want to move on for that. But for the time that he is here, he is absolutely brilliant. I think enough and more will be said about Luis Diaz and Harvey Elliott, who were absolutely fantastic. But I think we should be talking about Minamino a lot more. He really contributes to this team. I would love to keep him. Let us know in the comment section what you think about Minamino's performance. But now coming back to the game, I think that the goal that we conceded was again down to just lapse in concentration. And that has been something which has bothered us against Chelsea. James Milner made an error, and then we conceded from that set piece. And it's not a big issue, but it is something that is starting to become a little bit of a pattern this season. Nothing that I think will not be fixed by Klopp and his team. But that is something that has been bothering us. We should have kept a clean sheet. But again, it's a cup competition, and nothing more matters than going ahead. Now we face Norwich, a Premier League side, in the fifth round. Let's see what happens. It will be very interesting. Interesting times lie ahead. We start with Leicester next week, and let's see what happens. Up the Reds.